So we moved to Dwara in December 22. It was during the pandemic. We obviously were working from home.
So Dwara is a village, right? It's like a typical village. There are like around 40 households, and it's a close-knit community. So you can walk up to anyone at any point of time, and uh, nobody will say that okay they're busy with something, or like they'll welcome you basically.
It's located on the in the northeast of Dehradun, and it's about, let's say, 40 minutes from the city center.
The reason why we shifted to Bangalore was because of the opportunity that I got, comparing the pay scales, comparing the position, the designation, and the interesting profile. We took a call to shift from Mumbai to Bangalore because longer run also there are a lot of opportunities back here in Bangalore. There are a lot of tech companies, lot of MNCs in comparison to Mumbai. Right now I am working for a tech company, US based tech company.
I am a project manager in a US based MNC.
And jointly we both make 65 plus odd lakhs per annum.
Both of us work in the private sector. Our offices are based out of Gurgaon. So I work in the field of analytics.
I am also into analytics and project management. I started working as a fashion model. I was a finalist at Femina Miss India in 2012. I also represented India in one of the pageants in China. After my fashion stint, I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore, and I have more than 8 years of experience now. So our household income is more than 50 LPA. So we were living in NCR region. One of the things that bothered us was the pollution in NCR. I have like bronchital issues, and then we have 2 small kids, and we were concerned about their health as well. So when we were living in NCR, we wouldn't even realize if it was raining outside, if it was sunny, because we were in the rooms inside. That's one of the major things that has changed, that we get impacted, or we do feel that change happening. Now it's raining, now it's sunny. Additionally, I think the kids have become much more active physically because they were restricted to the house earlier. We were scared to send them outside because we were living in an independent house. But here, like, we have a lot of outdoor space where they can run around and play. We generally come here and we camp. We get a picnic basket. Like, my daughter has it, so it has a lot of tiffins in it. So she fills it with small snacks, and then we spread a bed sheet, and then she loves to open each one of them and then eat.
So finding this place wasn't very easy, and probably the 50 odd places we looked at before buying this one. This was the last. The land we bought, I think, in 2021. The total area is around I think 1,000 square yards. In local units, it's called a biga, which I think was around 25 to 30 lakhs back then, because we weren't sure how long we'll be able to live here. So we thought of getting a not a lavish, not a very big house built.
And we also did not want to spend a lot, right? Because we did not take any loans to build the house. So we wanted to be a bit careful regarding how much money we were spending as well. Overall, the house must have cost around 80 lakhs, including the cost of the land and construction and everything.
Another, I would say, con of staying in a tier 1 city, especially Bangalore, it's a nightmare to search for a house. Trust me, it's a nightmare. When we landed here in Bangalore, for the first 15 days, we could not find a single house independently. The next step we went through was through a broker. Brokers were showing all the random houses, not within our expectation. Of course, they did not understand our choice. Thankfully, we landed up here. So yeah, the moment we saw it, and in 1 hour we had to finalize it because there were 5 other tenants lined up to take this house on a rent. So the idea of shifting to Nico Homes, predominantly we had 2 things to compare. Okay, do we want to stay very close to our office, or do we want to travel a bit but stay in a locality which has everything, yet it is not very close to all the congested parts of Bangalore city, right? So we chose Nico Homes. This being northern part of Bangalore, you get everything around, right? There is a mall right inside our society. We call it This is called Bhartiya City. Huge amount of restaurants here. There are 3 major hospitals around. There is a school within the society. There are ample of schools around Bhartiya City. You have all the great eateries, all the great supermarkets. So what plus the rentals are super low in comparison to the central Bangalore prices that are running out there. You pay almost half of it, and you can still get all these amenities. Presently, we are paying 30 odd K as a monthly rent for this house.
So when we moved here, a lot of people, they came here, they greeted us, they invited us to their homes. Some people, they saw us, we occupying their lands that they've been inheriting, their forefathers. But overall, I would say they've been welcoming, they've been supportive, and they are, they reach out, they make an effort to help you out, which is quite unlike what you find in the cities.
So shifting to Bangalore, of course, makes you meet a lot of people from various community, right? You have people from all the 4 corners of India. That is one advantage. We have friends from...
We have friends from Northeast, for
Northeast,
example.
yeah.
We have friends who are from southern part of India. So last year when there was Navratri, I participated. I learned Garba, which I have never learned in my life before. And very recently there was Dhunuchi Nach, which is practically for Bengali festival celebration. So I was part of that as well.
We both being extremely foodie, we can go all the extra mile to eat good food. For example, there is a place called Bidadi Idli, very like 50-60 odd kilometers from Bangalore. Davangere Dosa are again 60 odd kilometers. Both on the separate end of Bangalore. Any random weekend we drive through those things, having a 20-30 odd bucks dosa and a idli, and that is how much we are fond of eating and trying out new things.
And that's the only thing that can probably make us wake up at 5:30 am or 6 am just to have good food.
Now that we have kids, we do not travel too often. I think last 1 year we would have traveled to Delhi with the kids, let's say 2 to 3 times, not more than that. That definitely means we are not really reaching out, or we are not going to meet our relatives or friends. But that doesn't mean they don't travel here.
We now have more visitors than we used to get when we were living in the NCR. So yeah, our social circle has actually improved after coming here, because everybody treats this like a vacation house and they love to visit us and spend some time with nature.
What I feel is when you're, going out too often, meeting your friends, sometimes you tend to do it because there's peer pressure. And then you do not necessarily develop those bonds, right? The depth in that relationship isn't there. So that is something we have experienced only once we moved here.
Whosoever is visiting us here, they like to be around nature and they're not really looking forward to going out and eating in a place. They love to be here. We go eat in the dhabas which are there right close to our place, and that doesn't really cost us that much.
In terms of cost of living, Tier 1 city has a higher cost of living.
Our annual expenses comes about roughly 12 to 14 odd lakhs per annum. If of course 1 or 2 odd lakhs, you can of course add it up. But somehow we target this as a budget. This does not include our travels and all the other leisure expenses that we spend. We budget for those very separately.
So most of the how do we purchase our items is mostly online.
You order it and in 10 minutes it's there. So mostly it's there because we are too lazy to go prior hand and shop for a month. That's not what we are too much into. So it's usually very impromptu purchases online and it comes in 10 minutes. So it's job done for us. Yeah, so apart from our essentials and all the daily necessities, we also spend too much on our so-called weekend socializing plans. We go partying. We have set of friends whom we join mostly every alternate or every weekend. If it is a Sunday, we have to eat out.
Apart from what he mentioned, we are spending too much time on online platforms as well. So there is Prime Video membership, Disney membership, Jio, and all the online platforms basically.
Now the funny side is, you want to watch every new content that is talked about on Instagram. So it tempts you to take that membership. So right now we were just realizing that, we have membership of all the OTT platforms. Being in a tier 1 city, of course, you'll end up spending more than what you budgeted, right? Because of all the social pressure, fear of missing out, right? That is the slang people use these days. I would say practically you can't escape it, because if I give you an example, I had a very small hatchback car back home. Nobody used to talk about it, right? And I was happy. But the moment I shifted to a great city and people had all fancy cars, you will have those tendency to, okay, I can afford it, why not take it? And I just bought a good car, right? So there is I would say, a soft peer pressure on you. But I think you made a choice, so it's your choice.
Yeah, so the expenses, I would say they are pretty much the same as we were spending in Gurgaon, but still I would say it is less than 1 lakh per month.
So when we were living in Gurgaon, we were staying in a rented apartment, right? At that time, it costed us around like 30K a month, which would not be less than 50K in today's time, given the rate at which the property or the rents are increasing in Gurgaon. We had 1 kid at that time, now we have 2. So the daycare costs are really high. So an average clay would cost you around like 25K a month. So in rentals and like just the daycare, you would end up spending 1 lakh. So if you compare it to that, the expenses here are low, but we have 2 full-time house helps because we work, so we need someone to take care of our kids. But other than that, the expenses are quite basic.
The food items we source, we don't generally source it through online channels, but then we go to local vendors, local shops, get it from there.
The good part is being here, we are not able to make those, unnecessary expenses or impulse buys, basically, right? And it's good because then we are able to eat healthier, right? And we don't buy the things that we don't need.
The life in, of course, tier 1 cities is pretty fast, right? Because everyone is running, right? It's a congested city whereby, people are all, in Hindi we call banda bande ke upar, right? So yeah, everything works in jiffy, everyone has to run because there are too many things on your plate, right? It's not just office, you also have your personal life. If you go early, you come back early. Secondly, traffic, right? So you also have to manage that side of the city life whereby, you also have to calculate the travel time. A typical day, if you ask me, if I could recollect, there was some accident happened very close to Maitri Circle and we were stuck there for almost 2+ hours. I mean,
Cons, of course, so we miss out on a lot of, I won't say facilities, but then there's no municipality here, so we have to take care of all the garbage disposal. Of course, the hospitals are a bit far off. It's at least a 45 to 50 minute drive to a reasonably okay hospital. Of course, there's a daily travel involved. When we were in Gurgaon, we were still traveling half an hour one side, which is exactly the same that I commute every day from here also. So, but then, as I said, there's no traffic here. If it is 30 minutes, it is 30 minutes. In terms of quality of education, I think the school that our daughter was going to, I would say it was a bit better than where she's going right now. But then we feel she's maybe too little right now that we should start taking her education too seriously.
And one of the reasons why we don't want to put her in a school which is very expensive is also because it just makes the child feel entitled because they're in the company of kids who get everything very easily
and that sense of privilege.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I have personally started to spend more time with her. I feel it becomes our own responsibility as well to expose them to a lot of new information that they generally do not get exposed to during school. The trick is not to constrain them within their curriculum, and a lot of it is given through home education. That's what we believe in.
The really important part of being here is having your kids closer to the ground reality, because the villagers lead a life of hardship. You see them toiling in the fields, working hard every day. It's important for your kids to learn that money doesn't come easy. People have to put in a lot of effort to make their living. That's a very important lesson.
Veera.
People in tier 1 city of course live a very individualistic life. Come on, I come from Mumbai. I've seen the chawl system out there, right? It started in Mumbai. Everyone used to live in a chawl back then. Everyone's doors were open. That all has gone away with once the city started growing fast. I've not even seen my neighbor next door who he is, right? This is a very tier 1 concept. But if you are staying in a tier 3 or in a very remote part of India, right? The major thing that happens is entire mohalla knows what you are doing. Entire gaon knows, if you bought a new cycle or not, right?
So the trade-off for living in a tier 1 city in terms of career opportunities, I don't think that's a problem for us. The reason why I say that is because why is it that we're working? We're working so that we are able to achieve an end goal, right? For most of the people, it's that they want to go and live like retire in Goa or in the mountains. We already are living our dream, right? So even if we had to compromise a little bit on the money, it doesn't matter for us because we are like living the life that we wanted. And anyway, moving to Gurgaon would only increase our expenses. So even if we would make slightly more money, we would eventually end up spending it all. Around 30 to 40% we end up saving every month.
I mean, the investments, I think roughly 30 to 40% is still real estate. Then about 30% it's the government backed schemes like savings and retirement schemes. A couple of them for our kids also. About 15% is again in the FDs, and the remaining will be in the market through SIPs.
I think for me, the biggest financial goal would be to be in a situation by 45 whereby I don't have to hustle so much basically. So I know I'm in my prime earning years right now. But I think after, say, 10 years, by 45, I want to be at a stage in life whereby having a job or not having a job shouldn't matter my finances.
Since the time I know finance, I've heard this word FIRE, right? Financially independent, retire early. So I lost both my parents at a very early and a young age, right? They did not see the life that they deserved to see, right? So I think that is one thing that hit me so hard that I felt, okay, let's earn fast and let's retire early because we don't know what life brings in after we're like in our mid age, right? Presently, my portfolio split is 50 to 60% is in real estate. 35 odd percentage is equity. This includes my PMS as well as my mutual funds, also international stocks. The rest we have roughly 10 odd percentage in gold and our retirement instruments, PF, PPF, and we have like a small quantum of 5 odd percentage in a very riskier asset called crypto. If you ask me what defines happiness, I would say I don't want to wake up at 7. I want to eat whatever I want. I want to travel wherever I want, and I want to have enough money whereby I don't want to think where I want to spend my money. And see, practically, if you say, people say money can't buy happiness, but honestly, in my opinion, it does. You can buy happiness. Because we know the difference of not having money and not living life in comparison to having money and living what you want to do. So yeah, I think money can buy happiness to you.
So I think we would be living in a tier 1 city. Mostly, I think that is 80% or 90%
and
of the
once in a while we can just go have a
we can go for longer
vacation, stay in
yeah.
some random tier 3 or a very remote town and stay there for a while. That's fine, but permanently I don't see ourselves placed out in a very remote rural setup.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that we both would ever sign up for.
3 years ago, we did not know whether we would end up here or not, right? So life is really unpredictable. We're really grateful that we are in a place that we love living, and we would continue to live here as long as we can, but we really don't know what would happen 5 years or 10 years down the line. But yes, definitely, as long as our careers allow us to stay here, we would love to stay and retire here in this place.
Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. If you like the stories we tell, here's your chance to be a part of it. If you or anybody you know has an interesting financial journey to share, then please fill the form in the pinned comment below and we'll get in touch with you.